All right, welcome back, everybody. Just going to do a quick little video of a teardown of a Civivi Mini Praxis, and I ordered some different scales for it off Etsy, fairly cheap. Kind of give this knife a different style, and like I said, great little everyday carry. But if you want something a little different, you know, something like that. I think I like the green, and this texture on it. Really good hand grip. So let's just do a quick one. These are going to be a T8, and then if you'd want to remove the pocket clip, they're going to be a T6. And while we're in there, we're going to go ahead and I like this this gun oil here for the bearings and all that stuff. Works really good. So let's get down to it real quick. And like I said, T8 will get you most of this taken apart. Like I said, this is a fairly quick little thing here. And like I said, you can see most of these have the blue thread locker on it from factory. You can make that out. So some of them might be a little tighter. This one up here, it has some sort of thread locker on it. I have had some of these that are super tight to break loose, and you can kind of see it down in there. It almost looks like corrosion, but whatever they use is it's a thread locker of some sort. So, but to pop those two, be popping these two on the other side here. Like I said, these three are going to be the same size, of course. And of course, your pivot bearing will be the oddball of the bunch. But like I said, super easy to do. Get on Etsy, or there's all kinds of third party for the different scales. And like I said, if you ever take your knife apart and clean it, this is a good way to do it too. So, but yeah, flipping it over. I cleaned this knife not too long ago. So, but yeah, there's one side of it here. Like I said, your whole blade comes out. Your pivot bearing, of course, right there. Like I said, while we're in here, you can kind of see where the pivot bearing is worn into that seat. And like I said, while we're in here, we'll go ahead and put some lube on that. But yeah, the best thing to do is just take this whole thing apart, just like that. And it does look like, oh, see, there's that other pivot bearing. It does, I want to say, I was trying not to have to remove the pocket clip. That one goes up front. And let's see, yeah, see, we're going to remove that pocket clip. So T6 on the pocket clip. Like I said, it would have been nice if they would have made it T8, made them all the same, but it is what it is. But pop this pocket clip off here. And like I said, the Mini Praxis, you can reverse the pocket clip, if that's something you want to do. But I usually like the way they came, so. But yeah, just pop that off. You kind of see where the oil's at. Like I said, this is a great way to take it apart and clean it. If you ever need to sharpen your blade, a lot of times, take the blade out and sharpen it, totally separate. But there's that one. And we will just flip this one right back onto this side. Kind of line that up. We'll go ahead and throw our pocket clip back on it. Over at this stage here. Kind of just give that one a snug. And we can't snug it because all this stuff right here fell out on us, so. Yeah, let's see here. It's the best way to do this. Kind of tricky, not too tricky. I'm making this way harder than what it is, but I might just thread it on here like this Go ahead and get that dude started. Way it kind of helps hold it all together. And then we'll flip it over here and do the exact same thing here. Slide that one up there in the hole. All right, see that one threads in. See that the second one actually threads into the actual, I guess you can call it skeleton, and then this one has the actual knob. So that's pretty much complete, and we'll go ahead and double check all these once we get all put together. But this one here, we'll go ahead and get our T8 again. Slide that one in. Get that one started by hand, and we can always come back. Snug that one down. All right, there's that. We'll drop our bearing in here. Like so. And we'll drop our blade in. Let's go ahead and put the, we'll put these two stops in here. That's that one there. There's that one. Get your pin back in there. Go ahead and put our bearing back on this side. And you can kind of see how the see how those bearings work there. So the flat side is going to be right there. So this would be a, well, other than them falling apart like that, that's all right. And like I said, you can kind of see that bearing up close. There's a flat side, and there's kind of like a recessed side. So you want that flat side down. And then you want the flat side down. And this would be an excellent opportunity. Like I said, this is the kind of stuff I've used. I've always used it. Works great. It's got a really good tip on it. And it don't take much on these, just a tip, just a little dot. Little dot. Don't take much, that's for sure. And like I said, this stuff goes a long way. It's like, oh, I forget, $6, $8, $10 at the most, but that'll last you a long time. So yeah, let's pop this blade. We'll pop this blade on this side. That way the pivot kind of holds it. Guess we could put it on there right. And then this side, we'll sandwich everything together. And actually, I'll probably end up, I don't know if that bearing's gonna stay for me. We'll see. So make sure everything is lined up. Kind of see that bearing in there, kind of locked in place. That feels good. This back part feels good. All right, and you could reapply thread locker if you'd want. I've never had any problem with them backing out. So pop that in there, grab your T8 again. Go ahead and cinch all that down. And we'll adjust the pressure here in a minute. Let's go ahead and get these others thrown in there real quick. You know what? Before we do that, me take that back apart real quick. We left something out here. Right back here. This little bitty guide here. It's got a spot right there. All right, let's try this again. Nice and easy. Get your bearing in there. Get your bearing seated. Get everything back here lined up. I'm happy with this front one, so I'm gonna go ahead and lock this front one down. Just so we don't lose anything. Just gonna snug it. All right, now we work on this back. You see this back here where it's not seated in? Kind of. And like I said, you can even move that out of the way so you can kind of see what's not jiving. All right, and see where all these are flush now. That's what we're looking for. So we can just slide our scale back in there. Grab these little T8s, and like I said, most of them will still have the thread locker, as you can see on them. So a lot of times we can just reuse that. Slide that stuff back in there. Just a hair off there, try that. Perfect. Going in. That one's locked in. Same thing here. Lock that one in. Just a good little snug. Nothing too crazy. Like I said, it's got the thread locker on it. That keeps them from backing out. All right. Let's set our tension up here. That's pretty good. I'll just snug it just a hair and keep checking. Smooth. All right, just a hair more. And I'll try the action. You get it to where you like it. That's pretty snug, smooth action. Let's see if it's centered. Perfectly centered blade. Like I said, we got everything lubed up. New scales on it. But yeah, let's, so that's that one. And a matter of fact, I have one just like it. So you can kind of see the difference to the two. Like I said, a little cheap little upgrade, you know, something different. You know, like I said, you can kind of just the feel of it, gave it different texture. You know, a lot of people are like, man, I ain't seen a Civivi like that, you know, like I said. And they got all kinds of different patterns on these scales, so. But yeah, just a quick little rundown, how to throw it together. Super simple, just take your time. And like I said, I'm gonna go back and kind of retorque all these, make sure I'm happy with all of it. Like I said, T6 on the pocket clip. So go back in there. You see where that one wasn't tight, snug those down. Like I said, they don't require, just don't wrench on them, just a good tight snug. But yeah, there she goes. And see how that one's a little stiff coming out? Like I said, you can just kind of back that off right there. But yeah, just a quick rundown. Like I said, T8, T6. While you got it apart, might as well leave the bearing up. But yeah, something quick and easy. Appreciate y'all.